happy 50th anniversary of hip hop, everyone. Did you know it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop? Yeah, I think that's super cool. I went to dance class this weekend, and that's how I learned it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And our instructor did this really cool thing where we did choreography from all of the different eras of hip hop, starting in the 70s, leading up to now. And I have to say, when we got to the 90s, that's my jam. Old school 90s hip hop. I love me a Cabbage Patch Kid and a Running Man any day. Good stuff. And, you know, there were a lot of lyrics that I resonated with. First of all, Salt and Peppa, who, I mean, 90s classics, right? Ain't no thing between a hooker and a hoe. I thought about that one for a long time. Cardi B, I don't dance now, I make money move. That's like the story of my life right there. But then the one I really was thinking about was Redman. I'm going to paraphrase the lyric, but it was something like, we're always trying to get there, but once we get there, we're chasing the next there. And that's because there is no there. There's only a whole lot of here's. And I started thinking, I was like Deepak Chopra, you know, like in hip hop. And I started thinking about that idea of chasing there, which we've talked about before here. So here I am, like in dance class, doing choreography that I did when I was 19. And I was spending a lot of time, well, I guess wishing that my there at that point in dance class was wishing that I had the stamina and the body and the mind, like the brain power to remember choreography that I did when I was 19. So my there, like in class, I realized was like going backwards in time, at least physically. And then I started thinking about when I was 19, my there would be pretty much, I think, where I am now. You know, I think when I was 19, what I wanted is definitely closer to where I am now than where I was then, my vision of myself. And that was kind of a crazy thing to realize that when I was 19, my there was 50-year-old Fia, or almost 50-year-old Fia. And 50-year-old Fia in dance class was wishing that her there was 19-year-old Fia. So that's kind of fucked up. So it really is, I mean, this idea that there really is no there. There's just a whole lot of here's. And when I realized that, when I came to that kind of like epiphany in the middle of dance class, in the middle of my Cabbage Patch Kids and Running Man, I can still do a mean Cabbage Patch Kid, by the way. When I realized that, I started thinking about the here and what I wanted to be the here. And for at least that hour, my here was just to feel good in my body and stop wishing I was 19. Because I'm not going back there. So my there has to be, my here has to be my there, which is just feeling good right now, in the here and now. And I started thinking about that in terms of just my life in general. And I think it's okay, and we've talked about this, to always be striving for something. But it's not okay to postpone your joy or your happiness or your confidence or your sense of self until you get there, because that's a slippery slope. And I think personally, I could spend my entire life wishing I was there if I didn't catch myself and check myself very often that my here is good, that my here is confident, that I'm kind to myself in the way I talk to myself, that I have an amazing family. I have an incredible group of people. The company that I started does good work in the world. We are leaving the world a better place than we came into it. I mean, Moxie is doing that. And so what I decided by the end of that dance class is that instead of trying to pretend or like, pretend that I was okay being my 50-year-old body, I started thinking about what did my 19-year-old self need? Not who did she want to be, but who did she need? Like, who would she need? And who she would need was a confident person, a kind person, a loving person, a grounded person. And I think I'm a whole lot closer to there now than I was at 19. So I think for all of us, at least here now in this moment, if you can think back to your 19-year-old self and what was your 19-year-old self's vision of there, and also who would your 19-year-old self need? And I have a feeling if we were to talk about it, the person you are here now is probably a whole lot closer to your 19-year-old versions there. And also who your 19-year-old self would need. So this is just a friendly reminder, a tap on the shoulder to be here now, that there is no there. And in the immortal words of Red Man, there's just a whole lot of here's. So let's like carpe the fuck out of the here's, because that's really all we got.